People, we are here. We are finally here, man. This is the final episode of the tier list. Thank y'all all for watching. This series, man, I had a lot of fun making it, and yeah, let's go ahead and finish it off, right? So, yeah, man, as y'all can see, we unfortunately have to start off with the worst 6-cost card, man. Agatha Harkness. Agatha, man. I'm just say Agatha. Yeah, man, I mean, not really much needs to be said. She just makes the game random. It's unfortunate. She looks really cool. Also, 14 power is really good, but, man, y'all already know, man. Pour one out for Agatha. However, up next, we got Mrs. America Chavez. I really like America Chavez. I'm going to put her, like, A tier. I think the best part about her is that you know exactly when she's going to come out of your deck, right? Really good for deck thinning. Other than that, man, you can put her on any team, right? She fits in well, especially with like discard teams as well, or like a Jubilee team using Jubilee, man. But yeah, she's just A tier because you can throw her on any team, just to pull off whatever strategy or have a higher chance of pulling off whatever strategy you want, because you know America's going to come out last, rather than you start off with a 6-cost card in your hand and you're not able to, do whatever setup you're trying to do. But yeah, America is really good, man. I'm putting her in A. Apocalypse. I really like Apocalypse. I would either put him in A or B. I think I'll do B for now. But the only reason for that is because we know discard isn't really the best style of deck to use in the game, right? But the cool thing about Apocalypse is that, he just, while he does start off at 6'8", man, you can get him to like 24 in like some games, man. You can really boost his power up to a crazy amount. Actually, I'll put him at A, man. Apocalypse is really good. Definitely a staple on any discard team, obviously. And obviously he works great with Dracula, right? Essentially making Dracula a 4/12 that can't be destroyed. So yeah, Apocalypse is really good, man. Arnim Zola. I really like him on destroy decks. I also like him with Black Panther plus Wong, right? The only problem I feel with him is that he's very easy to counter. Because for one, when you're running Wong plus Black Panther, you have to make sure that they're not going to put armor down, right? You have to make sure that they're not going to use Rogue against your Wong. You got to make sure that they're not going to put Cosmo down, right? And even outside of that specific archetype, if you're running him on a destroy team, that means you're either sacrificing a spot for null or death, right? And I personally feel like those two are better fits on destroy teams. Obviously, he can still be used, but yeah, he's definitely not bad. Definitely not a bad card at all. I'm put him in B. Death, right? We were just talking about it, but yeah, man, I'm putting her in A. Y'all see that 9 right there? Obviously, we know she's 8, 12, but if you take a really good look at that 9, right? If you take a really good look at it, you're going to see that it's actually not a 9, right? It's actually a 0. And that's the reason why we got to put her in A tier, man. Death is solid. So Destroyer up next. I'm going to put him in B as well. I feel like him and Arnim Zola are like the essentially the lower tier destroy cards, right? I feel like Death and Null are a much better fit on a destroy type of team than Arnim Zola and Destroyer. Although he does have 15 power, you're essentially making it so that you're relying on him to win a lane for you by himself. On top of that, you're probably using some like weird armor Wolverine type team, right? Although you can run him in conjunction with Galactus, I just feel like he's one of the lower tier destroy cards, while he is still good though. So I'm gonna put him in B tier, definitely. Next we got Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom used to be great, man. Obviously you could run him with like Wave, Patriot, you run him with Wong. I don't know, man. I just feel like after the nerf, like making the Doom bots 4, like that's huge, man. Like just taking 1 power away from each of them. Like you're not. I've had a lot less success with Doctor Doom. On top of that, I've won games by like 1 point, 2 points, just because Doctor Doom wasn't able to, pull off what he does and win the adjacent locations, right? But he's still pretty good, man. I definitely gotta put him in B. Galactus, man. Galactus, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even really want to talk about this card. We know he's 6'7", man, but it's just, I feel like Galactus, while as great as he is, I really think he's bad for the game, because he doesn't really promote good. He doesn't really promote good play in the game where you have to win 2 lanes. He's the only card that you essentially have to win 1 lane to win. And there's so much things that you can do to make setup so easy for him. Obviously, you can run like Hobgoblin with him. You can run Green Goblin to make sure that there's literally no chance that they're gonna win the other spot. You obviously can put Null alongside Galactus. If you use Wave like turn 3, use him turn 4. Spider-Man, like, I just think he's really bad for the game, but I just can't deny how good of a card he is. So you have to put him in S tier, even after the nerf, right? Up next, we got Big Giganto. I like how he's like halfway out of, like he's so big you can only see like his upper half. But yeah, Giganto isn't that good. Being limited to only being played on the left is really bad. On top of that, you usually want to run him with like a Lockjaw type of team, maybe even like a Lockjaw Jubilee like style. You can run him on that like discard style, but the problem with that is like that discard team is like so easy to counter, man. And on top of that, if you're gonna run like Giganto, I feel like you're better off running a card like Orca, right? You could put him on the left. We know he's 6'11". You could put him on the left for like 6 and 16, or like 6 and 17 power. I forgot how much he goes up to, but yeah, Giganto is just not that good, man. Same with Heimdall. Move isn't really that good of an archetype. On top of that, he's not really strong, man. Looks pretty cool, but yeah, we know he's just not that good of a card, unfortunately. Up next, we got Hela. She's either A or B. She's either A or B for sure. I think I want to put her like top of B. Yeah, definitely the top of B. She obviously makes literally every other discard card work, right? She literally takes all use away from Ghost Rider, but you can run them 2 on the same team if you like discard Hitler by accident. It like allows you to play more sloppy on discard teams. But yeah, man, the fact that you need MODOK plus Invisible Woman to get the fullest mileage out of her, makes her really easy to counter. So I can't put her higher than B because of that. It's just really easy to counter the generic like Hela style deck, right? So yeah, I'm gonna put her in B. Up next, we got Helicarrier. I don't think the Helicarrier is great at all, man. Obviously, you can run it on like a discard hybrid style deck with the collector, with Devil Dinosaur on it. Obviously with Quinjet. But yeah, I don't know, man, because Helicarrier is never gonna be. I feel like it's never gonna be the cards you play last. You're always gonna be using either 1 or 2 Devil Dinosaurs last if you're running that style of team. On top of that, you can use Nick Fury, Agent Coulson. Like, you can use all the lower tier cards to add cards to your hand and get a lot of more mileage out of it rather than running Helicarrier, forcing yourself to run like Lady Sif and stuff like that. Yeah, I just feel like it's not that great. So yeah, I gotta put him in D because of that. We got the Hulk. Even regular Hulk is great, but I'm gonna talk about Evolved Hulk. Evolved Hulk literally, like, it's crazy that they nerfed him because they actually made his ability better. Right now, you don't even lose to Enchantress anymore. Like, you're boosting your power essentially with no drawback. Right, you're already 6'12", so you can be like Shang-Chi or whatever. But yeah, Evolved Hulk is just really hard to overcome, man. It's just such a great card. It's literally a better version of the next card that we're going to talk about, which is the Infinite, man. Infinite is still cool. Obviously, you can still run Infinite in conjunction with She-Hulk, Moon Girl, Jessica Jones, Sunspot. He really works great on those like turn 7 style teams with Magic. And while Magic is one of the more popular cards in the meta right now, I feel like there's literally no reason to run Infinite anymore because High Evolutionary Hulk is in the game, and it's just a lot better version of him, right? You're literally replacing the Infinite and She-Hulk with the Hulk and Abomination, unfortunately. So yeah, that's why I gotta put Infinite in C tier, man. I might as well just do She-Hulk up next. I do think she's a bit better than the Infinite because you can run her on more decks. We know she got nerfed to 6'9", but sometimes you're able to get her out on turn 3 for 9 power, and that's really great, man. It's just the problem is, like, if you run like a She-Hulk type of team, you're usually gonna be using like High Evolutionary, and at that point you just run Abomination in her place, right? But she's still pretty decent, so I'm gonna put her in B tier. Next we got Noel. Noel, like, obviously works great with your generic Destroy team, works great with Galactus. You can run some like tricky Mr. Negative style teams with Noel. Like a Destroy Mr. Negative like hybrid style deck. Noel's just solid, man. It's like nothing bad about him. Put him in A. Odin is, man, literally such a great card, man. Obviously, we know he works great on your typical Wong plus White Tiger, Wong plus Ironheart. Literally any on reveal card, man. It just makes making that ability happen again is huge. Odin's literally never gonna be bad. I hope to see him like on a team with Thor plus Jane at some point, even though that's not the typical way you use Odin. But Odin's just really solid, man. He might even be S, but I'm gonna just put him like the very top of A for right now. Up next, Leader. Put Leader like the top of B. We know he got nerfed to 6'2", and that's actually not really a nerf, like as far as the power goes, because it allows you to run him on a larger variety of teams, such as like your Mr. Negative style team. I'm just gonna put him at A. But yeah, we know he got nerfed. Just copying the highest cost card is huge. It's pretty brain dead as well, to be honest. But sometimes it can backfire, especially if your opponent skips a turn. So you're literally just stuck there with like a 2 power card. At that point, you might as well just run like a 1 cost. But yeah, leader is pretty good, man. Put him at A. Onslaught, just the ongoing version of Odin, man. We know Odin works great with Wong. Onslaught is great with like Patriot. Great with Iron Man, right? Just so many different ways to use these 2 cards, and I feel like they're both just phenomenal at what they do, at what they enable, right? So yeah, Onslaught and Odin, man, I just got to put them both right next to each other at the very top of A tier. Orca up next, man. I feel like Orca is very underused. He works very great with claw, like on those claw style of teams, right? I think B tier, like mid B tier, is like a very good spot for him. I like him over Destroyer. I like him over Giganto. I like him over Normal Hulk, but I don't like him over Evolved Hulk, right? And yeah, he's pretty good, man. Only drawback is that to get the fullest mileage out of him, he has to be the only card. But you can often win a lot of locations with, like, I believe it's 616 or 617. So I'm gonna put him in B. Definitely gonna put him in B. Living Tribunal, I like him like right here. We know he's 6'9". Only thing about Living Tribunal decks is to get the fullest mileage out of him, you want to run Iron Man and Onslaught, right? So you gotta go through a lot of loopholes to make sure you get all 3 of those cards not only out but in the same spot, right? I'm gonna put him like right here actually. We know he got buffed 269, so it's 3 power across all locations. But there's actually some cases, man, where his ability actually hurts you because you might be winning two spots, but like once it balances all your power out, it's like an overall loss, if that makes sense, even though it's the same total, right? Top of that, very easily countered by Enchantress, which is one of the most popular cards, right? Yeah, I'm just putting him like right there. Ultron up next. Ultron is, although you can only really use him on one solid team, he's great at what he does, right? You're always going to use him last, and you're always going to use him on a Patriot team, right? And Patriot is a very strong deck, right? On top of that, even if you don't get your Patriot out, in those weird games where you like might not be able to play at a spot, Ultron is pretty good because he allows you to get those four drones out at that spot that you're not able to play against, and that can potentially win you the game, right? Yeah, just very good at what he does. Only reason why I would put him in B is, one, because he can only be used on essentially one style of team, and two is because he's very easily countered by Killmonger, which in my opinion is the best 3-cost card. So yeah, but he's very good at what he does, man. Put him in B. 3 more cards, man. We got Spectrum. Spectrum, another very underused card like Orca. Works great on those like lockdown solid teams with Professor X. Can be used on like generic ongoing teams. I want to put her in B. The only reason why she wouldn't be like a A tier card and she's not as good as Onslaught, I feel, is because one, not only is she weaker, but Two, I feel like you're not able to abuse her powers as much as like a Onslaught, right? But she's still pretty good. Definitely can run a lot of tricky and cool strategies with her. So I'm gonna put her in B tier. Mr. Magneto. Magneto is cool, man. Obviously you can run like a specific Magneto style team with Kingpin, like Kingpin, Arrow, like Polaris, those style of teams. He might even be higher than B, man. I just don't see a lot of Magneto, to be honest. I don't really play a lot of him. And honestly, sometimes he is he can lose you the game, right? Because you might have won that spot that you played him at, but once you move those 3-4 cost cards there, it their power overwhelms yours, and then you end up losing because of that. But yeah, Magneto, he's solid, man. Like all of these B, everything B and above is like just it's good, right? So yeah, I'm just put him there, man. And last we got Mr. Endgame himself, man, Big Thanos, another S tier, man. Reason why he's S tier is because he essentially gives you a lot of different ways to play your teams by giving you more like one cost cards, like the Infinity Stones allow you to run a larger variety of like destroy style teams. Obviously you can still use that Thanos lockjaw, that Thanos lockjaw style team. You can run like a Thanos lockdown team. On top of that, even if you're not able to get off whatever specific strategy that you're trying to do with Thanos, if you get all 6 Infinity Stones out, you get like a 6, what is it, like a 620, which is really good, man. And Thanos is just solid. Can be played on a variety of different style of teams, man. And it's very hard to overcome, especially the Soul Stone, man. If you don't have like a rogue on your team, an enchantress on your team, like literally that stone alone allows you to win games, right? But yeah, Thanos is really solid, man. I'm gonna put him in S. And with that, man, we have completed the tier list, man. We went through 0 all the way up to 6. Appreciate everybody who watched, everybody who subscribed, man. This was my first video series on the channel. And I guess, yeah, up next, man, we got to do some gameplays, man. Can't just make a tier list and not show y'all that I'm nice at the game. So, yeah, man, appreciate everybody who watched. Make sure y'all leave a like, leave a comment. Obviously, let me know what you think about my tier list, what your own personal opinions are. And, yeah, thank you, everybody, and I'll see y'all next time.